intelligence. Only one question: what is artificial intelligence? So, to answer that, what we are saying to people is, if you've got a point of view, and I know everyone has a point of view on what is artificial intelligence, all you need to do is send me a direct message, and I will bring you here, and you can share your point of view on what is artificial intelligence. This is what our guest today did. Okay. Now, before I go invite my guest there, if you're watching this on Twitter, please press the follow button so that more and more people can, so that you can be following me and getting all the videos that I do, and like this and retweet it so that more and more people can watch it. If you're watching this on YouTube for any reason, then please press the subscribe button and the bell icon, so when the new video is there, you get some messages and notifications so you can actually watch me live. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, which I'm sure you are, then please press the follow button for any kind of video that comes my way. If you're watching this on Facebook by any chance, then I would request you to please like it and also share it with other groups which are AI focused, so more and more people can learn from our guests who have a point of view on what is artificial intelligence. So without any further ado, let me introduce and bring in our guest for today. Our guest for today is Dr. Johannes Drooghaag. I'm trying to get it right. I'm sure I've got it right, but he's from Germany. So let me bring him in and ask him whether I got it right. Hello, Dr. Johannes Drooghaag. Did I get it right?
Well, you were very, very close. It slipped towards the end, but it was the best I've heard in a very long time. And okay. My family name is very difficult to pronounce unless you are Dutch or lived in the Netherlands like you did a couple of times. So I prefer JD. That is much easier and it doesn't hurt my ears that much.
Okay, good stuff. So before we start and ask you the question, please take an opportunity to introduce yourself, where you come from, your background, so more and more people can learn about you.
Thank you. As mentioned, my name is Johannes Drooghaag, but I prefer JD because it's easier to pronounce for you and for everybody else. I'm the founder of Spearhead Management, a consulting company that merely focuses on enabling organizations to collaborate with technology and do that in an optimal and a safe manner. Our focus is the human element. So we leave the bits and the bytes to all the experts, and there are plenty out there. And I can recommend you some experts in all kinds of fields. We focus on the human element. How can you do that better? But that goes as far as also focusing with leadership teams on topics like inclusion and accessibility. Because we have 2 billion people out of the 7-point-something billion people around the world, which have some level of additional need. That is 2 billion out of 7.7 billion, right? And we're not focusing enough on those people. And as I always say, you have 2 billion customers waiting for your products and services. So let's pay attention to them. In all that we do, our main focus is the best usage of technology, the optimal usage of technology, but in a human-focused way. And that's what I do. And in addition to that, I do a lot on social media. I publish a lot. I love to write analysis. My dream is when I retire that I just write books and articles and publish things. But hopefully that's still a couple of years ahead of me. So that's what I do. That's who I am. And that's what I love doing. I love this human element in the technology.
Good stuff. Okay, so thank you for introducing yourself. Now, the million-dollar question. The reason why I got this the series started was that whenever you go to Twitter and type artificial intelligence, people show you robots and it's more about robotics, and I was thinking that let's bring the fundamentals behind AI to the people. So I thought start the series called What is Artificial Intelligence? And so in your point of view, if you were to explain to a layman what is artificial intelligence, how do you go about it? What is your point of view on what is artificial intelligence?
Well, the first thing I always say is artificial intelligence is a tool. It's not magic. It's not the silver spoon that will make everything happen by magic. It's just a tool. And what we do with artificial intelligence is that we use the capabilities of computing power, massive computing power, to do very specific tasks in a much higher pace than we could do it as human beings. So for example, if we just look at what we have established during this pandemic with the help of artificial intelligence, we were able to process and diagnose information 6 to 10 times faster with the support of artificial intelligence than we could have been doing with just our human intelligence. And there are reasons behind that. We set up artificial intelligence for very specific and sometimes very complicated tasks, but we limit by that what artificial intelligence should focus on. And we as human beings, well, we focus on everything, and we have all our obligations to take care of. Just a very simple example I always use is, as a human being, when I am cooking my dinner and the pasta takes 8 minutes to be al dente, right? As a human being, I need to keep that in mind. Otherwise, my pasta is bad.
Yep.
Now, if I, at the same time, am then writing an email to somebody, those 8 minutes will still be in the back of my head. And because we can turn it any way we want, I might not be 100% focused on that email because I keep looking at the clock, I'm waiting for the alarm to go off, whatever I have done. That's how our human brain works, and that's fantastic. That makes us very smart because we can filter all kinds of things at the same time. Artificial intelligence, and especially the subsets of artificial intelligence, are much more focused on doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, but then in enormous volumes that we as a human being cannot process. And that is what artificial intelligence does. A very specific, complicated task with very high speed, with very high volumes, and bring out the things that would cost us too much time. So we as human beings can focus on the outcome. But there's also another side to artificial intelligence.
And that is?
Artificial intelligence is a combination of data and algorithms, of technology and information. And that's where it goes wrong with important problems in our society, like, for example, underrepresentation. We have 2 major challenges to deal with. Number one, our organization is based on the ones in power, the establishment. That's where the decisions are made. Those are the role model, and they influence the entire society. That's one problem. And the second problem is, and I love Agile, don't misunderstand me, but with Agile, we have conditioned ourselves to focus on the optimal customer with the fast result. Now, everybody else is not in our focus area. So our society is continuously enforcing almost underrepresentation of everybody who is not in the leading role. And our agile methods have conditioned us on focusing on everybody who is in our optimal customer group. Bring that together and you have a very big risk, which also applies to artificial intelligence, that due to underrepresentation and due to the perpetual focus on the optimum, a large group of our society, members of our society, are not included in everything that's happening in the field of artificial intelligence. And we have seen, that was 2 years ago, a very shocking demonstration of that. 5 white male people controlled a machine just by standing in front of it, and that machine was doing all kinds of analysis of their emotions, and it was wonderful, and the accuracy was impressive, quite amazing. And a black person or an African American person, or whatever the term the person prefers, because that's, from my perspective, the only thing that matters. It's not what I say, it's about what, right? Just like I prefer to be called JD because I don't want my name to be mispronounced, everybody else has the right to use their own name or title.
Yep.
And that person goes in front of exactly the same machine. A big demonstration. And the machine didn't even recognize a face. So it never even started this wonderful demonstration of interpreting emotions by just looking at the face of the person, because the machine has never been trained. Shocking moment. A very shocking demonstration.
What you said actually rightly reminds me of something I used to say to people. I'm in the business because there are things that we know we don't know, and there are things we don't know we don't know. I'm in the business of finding things that we don't know we don't know. And I said that for a long time. But as you say, if you don't know something for AI, it will never know that, because it will never it'll never know that it doesn't know something. So that's where innovation comes into play, in my point of view. But you're actually highlighting a very important point, which is that if you do not get data for a particular area, or if the data is biased towards one part of, for example, if you said cars were, before the cars, it was only horses, and horses taking the carts, then for the rest of the life, it will never come out and say that you should have a car, because it only knows that there are horses who can carry, who can, control or take carts. But I think what point you're raising is that thinking outside of the box is not what AI does, and that brings to the point that when I say what is AI, for me, it is mimicking human intelligence and human behavior. And I've learned this adding and human behavior on this show only because one of the guests said that it is mimicking, it's not mimicking, not only mimicking human intelligence, it's also mimicking human behavior. But then it is mimicking. It's not creating new intelligence or new behaviors because it's not exposed to it.
And it's only mimicking what it has learned.
Yep. Exactly.
So if you learn a subset of society, you respond to the subset of society. A friend of mine said something very interesting. He said the echo chamber is much stronger in artificial intelligence than in human intelligence, because human intelligence still gets distracted. Artificial intelligence, not. So artificial intelligence is a pure echo chamber of whatever the technology and the information it is dealing with is creating. And that's of course a hidden risk. And if we look at the potential and we look at what's actually coming and we ignore all the slogans, we look at what is really happening. We're still at the beginning of artificial intelligence. We're still in the early stages. And I want to also use your platform and every other platform to say, this is the time that we still can make the corrections. We can still focus on the ethics of artificial intelligence and not just on the technical capabilities. And I have a very dear friend, Mia Dunn. She's in the United States, and she's very, very focused on the ethics in artificial intelligence. And she does a lot of action around the underrepresentation problem. I learn from her every time, and I learn about things I wasn't aware of every time, because I'm at the other side of the mirror, so to speak, right? I am a member of that minority which determines life for all the other minorities, because we are all minorities. The only majority that we have on this planet is human beings, and the rest of us are minorities.
Yeah. Very well said.
So let us please now, while we still can, make sure that we do not have the same challenges we had with the atomic bomb and with nuclear energy. That we say, yeah, well, let the other generations sort it out.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Very quickly, I think we're running short of time. This is a short session. So any use case that comes to mind?
A wonderful use case, and I learned that at a symposium 2 months ago. Evidently, the diagnosis of COVID-19 with the help of artificial intelligence is 8 times faster than with conventional means. Why? Very specific tasks, lots of information with the positives and the negatives, and artificial intelligence is unbeatable. Unbeatable in this thing. A marvelous, marvelous use case, because by detecting it, we can isolate and we can stop the spread for every case where we do it.
Yep.
So for me, that at this moment is the most significant use case, because it is saving lives. Wonderful, love it.
Actually, I wrote an article a few months ago, before even COVID was talked about intelligent hospitals, and we were talking about how artificial intelligence or components of, because AI is group of various technologies put together, and how those technologies actually can help solving a lot of problems for the and a lot of diagnosing a lot of diseases and helping the hospitals to actually be more precise and accurate. And when COVID came in, and I found out, and I read somewhere, and even wrote an article about it later, that the wet lungs could be predicted quite quickly using AI techniques than just waiting for 2 weeks to find out whether you're going to be getting COVID-19 or not. Like they say, just quarantine yourself, and you'll be there for after 2 weeks. We'll find out whether you got the symptoms or not. So I think there's a lot of things that has helped COVID-19 utilizing the AI techniques.
Definitely, and there are more use cases. We see modeling of potential spread and potential measures, which are really helping governments, but also companies, how to make the right decisions. And we see modeling about vaccination and what would be the best pace. I strongly believe, and I'm very grateful for all the fantastic thing our medical experts are doing and have been doing and will continue to do. But this very specific task, AI can do that much faster and much more accurate, because AI is capable of really focusing on that one topic, something human beings are not capable of doing. And the second thing with AI, you can scale up.
Yeah,
so bring 1,000 doctors in the room, and they're not getting 1,000 times faster, right? Because they all work different. And AI, you can really dig very deep, and it's helpful.
No,
and it's literally saving lives.
If there are 1,000 doctors in a room, they will think in 1,000 different directions. Whereas when you're using 1,000 AI techniques, they're going to look at only one thing, and that's how they solve it quickly. And I think that's a great insight from today for people to learn.
Well,
thank you very much. Thank you for your time today. It was a pleasure having you on this show. I really don't want to stop this, and we can have this conversation for another couple of hours. But this particular episode, or this particular series, is a short series where we only talk about 15, maximum 16, 17 minutes. And so I had to keep it short. Thank you very much for your time, and it was a pleasure having you on the show.
It was a pleasure being with you, and I'm looking forward to your next episode.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So guys, that was JD, as he called himself, all the way from Germany, and his point of view on what is artificial intelligence. I really liked his use cases, and that reminded me that I had written an article a couple of years ago, a few months ago, about intelligent hospitals. And I think you could find it on Google if you search for it. And I was talking about a couple of things which became real when COVID came into play. But thank you very much for watching this episode. Guys, if you're watching this, and please follow us, like, share, retweet, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please share it with more and more people so people can learn from Dr. JD, and also get to see more episodes as they come into play. So if you're watching this on Twitter, please follow me. If you're watching this on YouTube, please press the subscribe button and the bell icon. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, please share it around. like it, and also follow me. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please like it and also share it in other groups that are AI focused. So thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure having all of you watching this. Thank you and bye now.